Here I'm starting to do a little work in my sketchbook. So you can see that I have got some basic scribble down here on the page. And I'm going to just work with it and get things going. So, all right, this is a Posca pen, of course. And I'm just gonna fill in some of the spaces. I mean, there's different things around here. We're gonna go in different levels. We're gonna see what can be created very quickly and easily in your sketchbook. And this, little exercise can be 10 or 15 minutes in the morning. It doesn't need to be a big deal, but it gets the energy moving. And if you're lucky, you might be able to move that into a painting or something else. You never know what's going to come out in the sketchbook. So I like to use the Posca pens underneath things because that way I don't have to worry about destroying the point if I've got wet paint on top. Now I already have my palette ready over here, so I can put paint on pretty quickly. And I've got a number of things here. I've got my, these are my Caran d'Ache crayons. And these are just like your pencils that are water soluble. So whatever you do with your pencils or crayon, you can add water to it and it will become painting. It'll become paint. So maybe it'll become a painting at some point. But anyway, so that's how these work. Your water-soluble pencils work the exact same way. The crayons take a little, have a little more space coverage. And I love those crayons. They too can be used on top or underneath the painting. So we don't know where this is going to go, and that's the idea. Let's find out. Let's see. Let me get another color over here happening. This is a larger marker. I like the large markers. They're really interesting. And again, they make the application of paint very, very simple because they take a big area. Okay, I like that yellow. Now, of course, this is just an underpainting. This is not what's gonna, maybe these things will not even show once we get some more material onto the painting. So here I'm gonna do a little, these are the water-soluble pencils, but I just felt like I wanted to put that little line in there for some reason. Okay, now I've got some paint over here, and let's see what we can do with that. I mixed up some paint so it's, it's kind of ready to go. And we don't have to worry about it. I just took some colors. I added white to those colors. And so I have, only two ranges for each color, but that's okay. See, this pink is really a lot like the marker, isn't it? Okay. Let's see what we can do with our card here. We can create a little chaos, maybe. I like this color, this that I mixed over here. And that was a yellow. Picking up a little bit of that. I'm not being fussy about this because what we're wanting to do is get the energy moving, see what we can create in a relatively short period of time, and work learn to work within our sketchbook, which might give us ideas for paintings. This is kind of a nice brown. I like that color. We'll see where this goes. All right. So I've got something over here. I've got this green. This is a nice light green. And we're starting to get some transparency happening. We can start kind of see through because we are definitely making layered painting, and we do want to see through. And if we put too much paint on, we're going to get mud. So this is just a little bit of paint, and you know, so little that, you know, it'll just pretty much dry between applications here. And this is starting to look interesting. Here's another color that I mixed up over here. Let's see what that looks like. It's kind of a rose color. I don't have too much of that. Let me see, how about a little red? It's gonna take it to a whole other place. Maybe a little more of that over here. Now, mind you, we're still getting our layers down. Here's a darker green, just for contrast here and there. Who knows how it's going to be. All right, so most of that is drying up pretty quickly. And that's what we want it to do because we want to put more things over the top. So let's see. How about this? This is a straight yellow, very bright yellow. Okay. Let's take that down the middle a little more right there. Okay. Now I'm going to take and go in with a little bit of colored pencil here and there because I want my paint to dry a little bit more. So I can't hurt the colored pencil if I come upon some wet paint. Whereas if I use my markers, I might be in trouble. So just do little areas here and there with this red. And then I can add some water to that and make that kind of a watercolory thing happening. Let's see how that goes. Where is my brush? There we go. All right. So on these little areas, oh yeah, see, I can get this very, very transparent red around here and there, wherever I put it. Has a different feel than the paint. I like that area right there. Okay, I don't think I put it anyplace else. But I'll just spread some red around since we have that happening. All right. Now, this is a brown, and I'm just going to add that in. Over here for some reason that we don't know what that reason is. Maybe a little bit right in the center. Notice that I'm letting that paint go on very lightly. because I want to see those things that are underneath. I am picking up some of the paints that are not completely dry. Let's get a little more dark. Oh, I like this area up here. Let's put a little dark right here. Okay. And right there. All right. Now we've got some things happening here. Not sure about this yellow. I'm going to work with that a little bit. I'm going to work with it and see what I can do to change it up just a little bit. I'm not really wanting that big yellow pattern. All right. So that eliminated some of that. Now I'll just kind of soften these edges out over here. Let them come across a little bit. There we go. Okay, so here I think, well, I like this lighter brown too. I'm going to put some of that down here. All right, so some of the forms are now starting to get a little larger, and we can define those a bit if we want to, or not. Up here, we're going to have a smaller, you know, in the realm of composition, you would want your smaller objects to be kind of at the top of the page, maybe a little further away. So I like this. I don't want to lose this, but I don't want to cover up what's underneath it either. So I'm going to do that with a card. I think I'll just take the card, see if I can get a little of this action. Right there. Also right here. Now you see some of that is getting covered up, but what we're doing is we're kind of curating the painting a bit, because there's, you know, a lot of busy areas here and there. And what we're going to want is to be able to look at the painting and move the eye around the painting. So some of those areas we might want to eliminate if they're like confusing. Okay, here's a little area that's interesting. It's purple. What can I do there? Let me get my purple crayon out. We don't have any real purple in here. Put a little purple there, and then I'm going to put some down here. It's always good to have places that speak to each other. I'm going to make this one a little bigger because it's closer to the viewer. This one a little further away. It might come down a little more here. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, and maybe I'll put a little bit right here. There's a little area of confusion right there. And maybe like right here, just a little tad. All right, let's see what we can do to move that around a little bit. And again, this can be your colored pencil, or if you have the crayons, they work beautifully too. I don't know if I want to keep that as a square, but we'll keep it there for the moment. so we've got some different shapes of things here. Kind of like that purple. I'm going to move it in here a little more. A little bit over there. Okay, so now, let's put a little more brown here. I like that, the dark contrast. And up here, there's a little dark area here too. You can see I'm just playing with this. This is kind of a playtime thing. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. But let's get this. Let me see, I've got a blue pencil over here. Blue isn't really in here per se. Let's put a little blue in here. Let's see what that's going to do. Okay, we kind of sectioned this off over here. I'm just going to fill in the edges because that's what's appealing to me. I do like that. This is muddy. We're going to have to work with that. Okay, so let's put some blue over here. And I think these also would benefit from a little bit of an outline. They're kind of floating in there. All right, so I'm going to color a little here because, again, this is a watercolor pencil, so I can get this to become paint, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to make these edges be part of the whole process of painting. This area here, I like this here. Let's put a little shape in that. All right, now let's see. We've got a little work to do with the watercolor. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah. And look at the nice shadow that watercolor pencil creates. Just something around the edge, just to jazz it up a little bit. Darker area here, and that's fine. I think we need that right there. And we made this line here. And let's follow that up and around. And we did all these. Okay, so now here's a little area that seems like a little bit messy to me, but maybe I'll just put some more red paint in there. Makes it pretty solid, doesn't it? I'll put a little more red paint right here. And what else? Right up here, I think is a good spot. This is something along here. I think I'm going to work with that next. I'm going to put a little red paint out in the margin there just because. Okay, so here What the heck? Let me see. That's kind of a red. I don't know. I'm getting like, I'm seeing that pink there, and I'm really attracted to that. Maybe, oh, that's too close to purple. I gotta go for the pink. I'm gonna put a little pink in here. There we go. And I'm going to bring it out here since it's almost out there anyway. This is kind of purple here. I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to go over here with it too. Okay. And I think I'm going to put some right here in this little area. And right there. Okay, what else do we have? This is a little confusing. Let's put some pink over that too. I'm gonna put pink over that, yeah. Hopefully it'll still show through a little bit. I can get it on there lightly enough. So now we've got some areas of pink all around. I like this. I'm not going to bother with that. I'll leave that alone. I may amplify that. I like it. All right, so on the pink, let's see what we can do. What happens when we move it around a little bit. Mostly here was where I started, because I felt like this was kind of a funny area. All right, so that was, changed it a little bit. We can still see through there. That's good. I like that. Okay, so there was a little purple, something in here. This is like a deeper purple I'm going to put right there, more like a magenta. I'll put that here too, just in part of the area. Blend all that together a little bit. Okay. So here, this is kind of the middle of the painting, and I feel like I want to do something there to enhance that, and I don't know exactly what. Maybe I'll go back to the green, which is kind of where we started. A little more green. I like the green. All right. Now, this area, this I might need to do something about. I'm gonna go in there with a green pencil. I'm gonna actually go in there with some green paint, because I see there'll be a nice contrast here between the red and the green. Where else can I? Oh, here's this green area right here. Where else? Where else? There's something up here. Okay. There's a little spot right there. I think I'll make a line here. Okay. Now I'm going to take some yellow paint. Yeah, I like that. Oh, I'm going to do some more with that. I'm going to do some more with that, yeah. Just make this yellow pop a little bit more. This is kind of a primary yellow right out of the tube, right out of the bottle, before I made it, something else. But now that I did that, I can see something else here. I can see this green. Let me mix this up a little bit. There's this green thing right here that I'm going to follow down and up because I like it. Okay, I'm going to take a lighter green and put little stripes there. Oh yeah, maybe I'll do that here too. Nope, don't like that. Okay, let me put that green back. All right, so what's happening here is we've got the pink and the yellow, pink. We've got this kind of going across. Now these light yellows I really like. I'm gonna pick up some more of that. I like that a lot. Oops, it turned into green. I must have had some green on my paintbrush, but that's not bad. I like that color too. But let's get some, clean off that brush and get some of this color happening. This is beautiful. Still has a little green in it, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. But that's okay. Need some of that over here, definitely. Okay, get some of that up here. I like it. I like it. I'm going to put it right here, actually, because I think that I have to break up this situation that's going on right here. And I'm going to put it up here because I think that'll be nice. All right. And maybe over here, look over here. We've got something else going on over here that could use a little help. I like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go back up here where I started and get a little more of that yellow in there. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, maybe a little tinge right there. Now I gotta work with this a little bit. It's kind of a poofy shape. I like that. Let me see how I'm gonna poof it out a little more. How am I gonna do that? I think I'm gonna try to dry brush it. so it has a little bit of a ethereal quality to it. And I'm going to bring some of this up here because this I like. I'm going to put a lighter brown in here. And I think I got to break up some of these browns. I don't want to do them all exactly alike. So I'm going to do this one like this. And this one, let's see. This one, I'll give it a little edge like that. This one. I do like this right here. I think I have to sharpen that a bit. Okay. All right, we're going to sharpen that a little bit, so. But I might have to put a little yellow here. Okay, so this area here I think is still needing a little something. And let's really jazz it up. Okay. I want to add a little more red here because this area might have had another color under it, and I'm really liking that red. I like that little thing in there, whatever that is. I'll sharpen that up a little bit. Just kind of a line. And then there's like a white area right here. It just kind of gives it some interest. Okay, so I can keep going with this, and I will. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how you might start working in your sketchbook each day and get something going. Now I will work with this more and put more layers on top, but it's a good start. I hope I'm inspiring you to get in that sketchbook.